Has China done a good job fighting the coronavirus? They've gotten a lot of praise. Taiwan does it differently. Welcome back to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. Be sure to subscribe to the show, even if you already have, because YouTube has been unsubscribing people with no notification. This episode has been sponsored by Surfshark, because you should be using a reliable VPN whenever you go online. So, the Chinese Communist Party has taken some pretty heavy-handed measures to contain the spread of the deadly coronavirus, like putting an entire province of 58 million people under lockdown, restricting the movements of more than half the country, and forcing people who might be sick into quarantine centers against their will. The World Health Organization has praised how China has handled the coronavirus outbreak.
Almost all member states were praising China for what it did. China took action massively at the epicenter, at the source of the outbreak.
And even some Western media have been praising the China model. This article suggests that drastic measures, similar to those deployed by China and imposed in parts of Italy to contain the epidemic, are now overdue elsewhere. Yeah, I can't wait to see this in America. And Chinese state-run media haven't just been praising their own authoritarian system. They've also been highlighting criticism of the United States and other democracies for their coronavirus response. Which of course shows just how superior China's authoritarian response to the coronavirus has been, as long as you ignore the part where they let it spread uncontrolled for weeks and detain people for talking about it. But democratic Taiwan has taken a very different approach to the coronavirus than mainland China, and it's kept the number of infections and deaths shockingly low. Based on the numbers, Taiwan should have been hit really hard by the coronavirus. In mainland China, there have officially been 80,000 infections. The true figure is probably at least a few 100,000 because there aren't enough healthcare workers or test kits to test all the people who are at risk. Not to mention the fact that the Chinese Communist Party has a keen interest in keeping the official count low. Taiwan's population is 1/60th of China's. Based on that, you might expect Taiwan to have at least 1,000 cases. But it only has 47. That's really few, especially given that millions of people travel between China and Taiwan each year. And especially given that the World Health Organization has excluded Taiwan from participating in WHO programs because of pressure from China. So why are there so few cases in Taiwan? Especially when there are so many cases in South Korea, Italy, and Iran. It's because Taiwan's response to the coronavirus has been diligent, open, and transparent. It's no secret what Taiwan's leadership thinks about the Chinese Communist Party.
President Tsai Ing-wen says Beijing is the biggest threat to Taiwan's free and democratic way of life.
And it turns out, Taiwan recognizing Beijing's threat on all levels has been a very wise perspective for handling the coronavirus. As of what we know now, the first coronavirus outbreak in Wuhan, China started sometime around early December last year. But the Chinese officials covered it up until January 20th. That's when Chinese leader Xi Jinping first publicly admitted that the new coronavirus was a thing and that officials should make resolute efforts to curb the virus. But a full 3 weeks before that, while Xi Jinping was giving his New Year propaganda speech and most people in China had no idea about the coronavirus, Taiwan's leadership was already on the ball. On December 31st, 2019, when the World Health Organization was notified of pneumonia of unknown cause in Wuhan, China, Taiwanese officials began to board planes and assess passengers on direct flights from Wuhan for fever and pneumonia symptoms before passengers could deplane. Then, as early as January 5th, 2020, notification was expanded to include any individual who had traveled to Wuhan in the past 14 days and had a fever or symptoms of upper respiratory tract infection. And soon, the Taiwan government began a highly effective campaign to educate the public. Taiwan's Minister of Health has given numerous matter-of-fact speeches about the risks of the coronavirus and how people can protect themselves. President Tsai-wan made this video about how pharmacies are rationing surgical masks. Taiwan is using a mask rationing system to stop people from hoarding and price gouging masks. At the same time, Taiwan has also dramatically increased their mask manufacturing. And President Tsai-wan demonstrated social distancing by using a traditional greeting instead of a handshake. Much better than the social distancing most of us experienced in high school. Not me, of course. And most importantly, Taiwan's government at all levels has pushed the most important message over and over again. Wash your hands, your filthy, filthy hands. And because it's Taiwan, a lot of the messaging involves cuddly mascots. Like this Shiba Inu who tells you to wash your dirty paws, cover your snout when sneezing, and keep a positive attitude while doing epidemic prevention. How can you say no to that face? That's so much better than Corona-chan. But I wouldn't want you to think that Taiwan's disease prevention relies entirely on Shiba Inus. They're also using robots. One elementary school in Taiwan built these Lego robots to dispense disinfectant. Side note, when you're washing your hands with soap, you should scrub them for a full 20 seconds. That's how long it takes to sing Happy Birthday twice. You don't have to sing it out loud. Or you could recite the Litany Against Fear from Dune. That works too. One reason Taiwan has done such a good job fighting the coronavirus is because of their experience with the SARS epidemic in 2003, where more than 400 people in Taiwan were infected. Less than a year later, Taiwan established the National Health Command Center, or NHCC. The NHCC is meant to serve as a disaster management center command point, coordinating and advising authorities at a regional and central level so that in the case of a new outbreak, no time and resources are wasted. The NHCC used technology to merge the databases for Taiwan's national health insurance system and its travel entry system. Persons with low risk were sent a health declaration border pass via SMS to their phones for faster immigration clearance. Those with higher risk were quarantined at home and tracked through their mobile phone to ensure that they remained at home during the incubation period. So instead of forcibly quarantining 58 million people, Taiwan only quarantined the small number of individuals who actually posed a risk to others. Yeah, that's a much better system than this. Taiwan has also fared a lot better than some of the countries that have joined China's Belt and Road Initiative. South Korea, Italy, and Iran all have serious outbreaks right now, and their governments all have strong ties to the Chinese Communist Party. Coincidence? Maybe. Maybe not. Consider this. China's official position is that travel restrictions are an overreaction. And China has criticized the West for spreading negative, twisted falsehoods about the coronavirus. I'll bet certain governments felt political pressure to not take massive action back in January, when the coronavirus could have been more easily stopped. For example, Italy joined China's Belt and Road last year. That may be why they hesitated to impose a travel ban on visitors from mainland China. Of course, the coronavirus has now spread to more than 9,000 people in Italy, and the entire country is on lockdown. South Korea and Iran also didn't issue travel restrictions or do big public health campaigns early on, perhaps to avoid upsetting Beijing. On the other hand, Taiwan started taking action a full 3 weeks before the Chinese Communist Party even admitted there was an outbreak. They ignored the pressure, and they did it right. The lesson? Good things come to those who don't trust the Chinese Communist Party. And this episode has been sponsored by Surfshark. You should use a VPN like Surfshark to protect your identity whenever you go online. And if you want to go online in mainland China, you need a VPN just to access the rest of the internet, like to watch China Uncensored. And even if you're in free countries like Taiwan or America, everything you do online is being tracked and logged by the websites you visit and your internet service provider. So protect yourself with Surfshark. When you use Surfshark's clean web mode, you'll be protected from trackers, plus a lot of ads and malware. And with Surfshark, you can connect as many devices as you want. Try it out with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Surfshark has a special discount for China Uncensored fans. Go to surfshark.com/uncensored and use the code UNCENSORED to get 83% off a 2-year plan and 1 extra month free. Protect yourself online today. Click the link below. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.